Pelé would use his opponents as walls, forcing them to play for his team. What the Brazilian had at his feet was pure magic, a huge talent accompanied by a strength that isn't talked about very much today.
Físicamente Pelé era un monstruo. Aparte técnicamente, Pelé era un muchacho, era Tyson, pecho así.
Pelé era bravo, así, mamita, así, un lomo, y era durísimo.
Es una pantera. Sí.
Enfrentarte a Pelé, ¿qué era?
El único jugador que daba miedo. ¿Sí? El único jugador que daba miedo.
He entered the pitch and he didn't seem to have only 10 teammates, but his quality allowed him to join the 11 opponents to generate danger. He even left his mark until 50 years after his football peak, because everything that looks like a spectacular play in today's football, Pelé had already done when he dazzled the world with a ball at his feet. The level that Pelé had on the pitch was such that he even made his opponents help him without them noticing. But of course, he had absolutely everything planned. And it was in an interview with Fernando Niembro that he revealed the details behind his incredible dribbling when everything was under his control and he used his opponents as walls.
Edson, además uno recuerda el día que usted hizo la pared con Orlando, que jugaba para Boca. ¿Usted se acuerda de aquella jugada? Usted tira la pared, la hace pegar en el jugador de Boca y la va a buscar.
Y Orlando era jugador de Santos antes
claro,
de llegar aquí.
Claro.
Era amigo mío en Santos y todavía sigue ahí. Esas son cosas que no se puede olvidar.
And it's clear what he did in that game against River, making a wall with his former Santos teammates. He surprised everyone because of the wittiness of the play. Nobody expected him to do something like that, but when Pelé had the ball at his feet, the surprise was imminent.
Recuperando el Santos a cargo de Pelé la operación. Ahí está el Rey. El encontronazo fuerte sobre él y falta.
What Pelé was doing is incomparable, and it wasn't like he was making a mistake when giving a pass and hoping that the rebound would bounce off the opponent, but rather that he consciously threw the ball back to him so that he could continue dribbling. Watching the Brazilian play was a delight, but as the years went on, his plays got better and better. Not only because of all the magic that came from his feet, but because many current players decided to steal his acclaimed techniques, and even in that, Pelé became a football visionary. The dribbles with which Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo are dazzling today were already a patented trademark of the Brazilian star. It was clearly a different time, a time when the sport was very different to what we know today. Still, the figure of Pelé stood out above all others, and that is noticeable to this day when many football players try to copy what the Brazilian did in his time. And that is what makes him one of the greats. His quality transcends any kind of football era. Today they imitate what he achieved when he played. It wasn't just in the Brazilian national team shirt, but he also dazzled the world when he played for Santos, and it didn't matter what competition he had in front of him, he was always the leader. Pelé's quality was simply exceptional. That wasn't only recognized by those who played alongside him, but also by the players he faced in his career. He wasn't only a purebred goal scorer, but he also had other characteristics that made him the main threat to any team that came his way.
Tenía zurda y derecha, le daba con las dos. Gameteaba con las dos piernas. Guapo.
Malo.
Malo, cuando vos le pegabas te quebró ya 3 o 4.
Malo.
cabeceaba, un pecho, doble salto. ¿Te acordás cómo jugábamos al básquet antes? El doble, se quedaba suspendido en el aire, la bajaba y agarraba a cabolete, rompía el arco.
Of course, his ability allowed him to take on any team in the world, regardless of whether he played in the Brazilian league and played against the best teams in Europe. He always put his chest out with all the quality he showed over the years, and that is now recognized as one of the leading football visionaries of the future. Pelé did his thing every time he stepped onto a pitch and the ball came to him. It didn't matter whether his opponents were Cruzeiro or Milan, Orey was always the brightest star of all.
Discende Pelé, tiro, rete. Ha accorciato le distanze per il Santos Pelé.
The truth is that Pelé went down in history for that, not only for the World Cups and for all his records, but also for his way of reading the game. Now we realize that many of the plays of modern football Orey had already in his time. However, not all of them have been imitated, especially because of their difficulty. The thing is, intentionally making a wall with your opponent is something that only someone with Pelé's magic can do.
Recuperando el Santos a cargo de Pelé la operación. Ahí está el Rey. El encontronazo fuerte sobre él y falta.